She was the daughter of one of the biggest figures in entertainment history and part of a family that has suffered its share of tragedy. Tonight, Lisa Marie Presley, 54 years old, Elvis's daughter, has died after being hospitalized for cardiac arrest.
Elvis Presley's daughter has died. Her name is Lisa Marie, and her mother, Priscilla Presley, is lost and distraught over her daughter's death. So let's get into it. We've already lost the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley, and now we've lost his daughter. Lisa Marie Presley was on life support after going into cardiac arrest.
We begin with breaking news. Singer Lisa Marie Presley, the daughter of rock and roll legend Elvis Presley, has died.
The singer rushed to a hospital earlier today in cardiac arrest.
So there are a lot of people who are shaken up over Lisa Marie Presley's death, and there's a good reason why. Before we talk about what led up to Lisa's cardiac arrest, let's talk about what happened when the 911 call was made, because at 10:37 a.m., the police were dispatched to her home in Calabasas. They arrived on the scene at 10:43 a.m., and one person was transported at 11:17 a.m. This was Lisa. She's 55 years old, and they came onto the scene and she was in cardiac arrest and not responding.
The paramedics took only 6 minutes to get to Presley's house in Calabasas, with the fire department saying she was brought here to this hospital in West Hills behind me with, quote, signs of life. But ultimately, there was only so much the staff here could do.
So at first, when the paramedics got to her home, there was no sign of life, but they performed CPR on her and gave her epinephrine, which is adrenaline. This was able to restart her pulse, and she was, I guess, at some point, brought back to life, but on her way to the hospital, it did not work out.
Engine 125, squad 68, full arrest.
Her ex-husband, Danny Keogh, performing CPR until medics could arrive. They reportedly administered epinephrine, Presley regaining a pulse before she was rushed to West Hills Hospital.
This article also notes that she had been apparently complaining about stomach pains since the morning. So her stomach was upset, and I'm not entirely sure how that's linked to cardiac arrest, but that's interesting they released that information. So Lisa unfortunately died at that hospital, but everyone's confused on why this happened to her so abruptly, because she was just out and about in Hollywood. Billy Bush is now speaking out because he interviewed Lisa Marie Presley just 2 days before she ended up dying. Lisa, along with her mother Priscilla, attended the 2023 Golden Globes. She was there to support Austin Butler for his nomination for Best Actor in a drama for his portrayal of Elvis Presley. We're gonna watch this entire interview, but Billy Bush is saddened because it feels awful. I feel my heart is very heavy for pretty much anyone in pain. And as we watch this interview together, you will note that her speech was very slow, and Billy says when the interview was over, he turned over to his producer and said that there's something off here. Little did he know, less than 48 hours, Lisa Marie would be in the hospital and then would end up dying. So are there any signs in this interview? We don't know exactly what could have killed Lisa Marie, but it seems like there was a buildup, because if her stomach was hurting before, then what was happening the day before that, or the day when this interview happened? She told her friend there that she's going to grab his arm. So she already kind of seems like she's maybe unstable. There's no denying there's something up there. And when I first watched the video, I thought maybe drugs, but now that I'm watching it with you guys, I don't know if I think so, because it almost just seems like, but I want you guys to comment below. Do you think you see signs of drug use? Because I don't see them. Granted, it could be opioid or Xanax or something along those lines, because she's gone through so much. And there's a bunch of concerning comments under this interview. Let's read some together. The amount of pressure she must have felt to live up to her dad's career is unbearable. I'm sure her son felt it too. Another person comments, I know it's so heartbreaking to see her frail, but it's even sadder to look at her tired eyes and realize realize she's been through so much in her life. You can see that she was unwell, and I was shocked because I haven't seen her in a while. She has been through so much, but I think the death of her son was her final blow, which we'll talk about that in a moment. Here are a few more comments. Someone writes, truly sad. She did not look physically well, but she seemed fine in terms of conversing and articulating. That's kind of how I felt as well. I mean, there were a few times where she was mumbling, but even the mumbling made sense. Another person writes, she looks a little frail, but was very coherent, listened to, and answered all the questions. And finally, this person writes, rest in peace, Lisa. She's experienced terrible heartbreak and loss all her life. Lisa Marie has gone through so much, and it's heartbreaking to see her go this way. When she got to the hospital, she was put into ICU and given a temporary pacemaker. She was put into a medically induced coma and eventually passed away. Her mother, Priscilla, was photographed arriving to the hospital, which Priscilla's gone through so much as well in her life. I can't imagine how she's feeling watching her daughter go like this.
Now, her mother, Priscilla Presley, just released a statement saying, quote, "It is with a heavy heart that I must share the devastating news that my beautiful daughter, Lisa Marie, has left us." She confirmed that to People magazine earlier this evening. Priscilla also says, quote, "She was the most passionate, strong, and loving woman I have ever known. We ask for privacy as we try to deal with this profound loss."
Again, I cannot imagine how Priscilla is feeling losing her daughter and how Lisa Marie's children feel losing their mother.
Her mother, Priscilla Presley, was at her side at West Hills Hospital when she passed away a short time ago. She was the daughter of one of the biggest figures in entertainment history and part of a family that has suffered its share of tragedy. Tonight, Lisa Marie Presley, 54 years old, Elvis's daughter, has died after being hospitalized for cardiac arrest.
Now that Lisa Marie has passed away, she will be laid to rest next to her son Benjamin, along with her father Elvis in Graceland. Her son Ben actually took his life in 2020. This is all a little bit triggering, but her son Benjamin took his life back in 2020 with a gun. He was only 27 years old, which makes me wonder, does he enter the 27 club because his dad is like the king of rock and roll? But he died of an intraoral gunshot wound. So I think that means like the gun was put to his head, maybe his mouth, inside his mouth. The death of her son left Lisa Marie entirely heartbroken, inconsolable, and beyond devastated. She adored that boy. He was the love of her life, which he really looked like Elvis. But supposedly Ben struggled with drugs and alcohol and recently been to rehab. Ben had a girlfriend at the time named Alexa, and she made a note about his passing, quote, "You made the best jokes and always broke the rules. You were my favorite person from the moment I met you. I wish I could have kept you forever, Ben. I hope you're having all the delicious sushi in paradise. Words will never be enough."
She says, quote, "I've dealt with death, grief, and loss since the age of 9 years old. I've had more than anyone's fair share of it in my lifetime, and somehow I have made it this far." She wrote that back in August.
So in August of 2022, she acknowledged that she had lost a lot of people in her life. She's lost, pretty much everyone since the age of 9, and it's probably left her heartbroken. I mean, she passed away of cardiac arrest, and I want to talk a little bit about the logistics of this because she is relatively young, but I did find a clip where an expert explains the likelihood of her passing just due to cardiac arrest.
How common is cardiac arrest for a woman that age?
So according to the CDC, our statistics are that it's not common. 2.4 deaths per 10,000 women in her age group in this country every single year. Remember, cardiac arrest different than heart attack, but if you look at the common causes in this age group, massive heart attack, obviously at the top of the list, respiratory arrest that then leads to a cardiac arrest, and then there's a slew of unintentional causes of death, you guys: accidental overdose, motor vehicle accident, falls. And then there are the more uncommon, especially in this age group, medical conditions like undiagnosed congenital defects or a sudden aneurysm. There's a long list.
Hearing that it's not that common makes me think that there are other contributing factors, maybe like depression, because in August of 2022, she was talking about all this loss and how she's like still going, but probably can't even believe that she's able to hold up. She didn't seem like she was an unhealthy person. We really don't know what her habits were, but as far as like weight, you know, it's not like her weight really put her into cardiac arrest. Maybe she was a smoker. Maybe she was using drugs. We don't know yet. But everyone is coming out of the woodworks to speak about Lisa Marie, and her half-brother shared a tribute following her death. He wrote on Instagram that now Lisa Marie is at peace and happy with Elvis and Ben by her side. He acknowledged that the past couple years wasn't easy for Lisa Marie, and wrote that he wished things had been different between them, which may allude to them having issues. Some sibling, squabbles, they write. Regardless, he concluded, "You are my sister, and I'm sending you love and prayers on your journey home. I still can't believe this. I'm lost for words. Love you, sis." Which this actually really does make me so sad, because I have siblings myself, and imagine them dying before you could I don't know, make amends or have a great relationship. It's it almost seems like he recognizes yeah, we had our differences, but he can't believe this because now he cannot believe that he left, probably on the terms that they were on with his sister, and now they can't go back and fix it. So I wanted to mention this because as I was laying down in bed last night, I thought to myself that maybe there's more to Lisa Marie's death, because some of these singers end up being worth more when they're dead than they are alive. Like people like Michael Jackson, or even her own father, Elvis Presley. They get to a point where they've spent a lot of their money, and I've heard reports that Lisa Marie has had issues with her estate, so maybe possibly she was worth more to certain people if she was gone. Again, this is kind of the conspiracy theorist inside me, but I had to mention this because it's been eating me alive ever since I filmed the video, and then thought about it a little bit more and realized that maybe she was set up.
She was the heir to the best-selling solo artist of all time. But when she collapsed and died of cardiac arrest last Thursday, Lisa Marie Presley was deeply in debt. Lisa Marie had just $95,000 in her bank account and $700,000 in stocks, according to recent court documents filed in connection with her divorce from her fourth husband. She also owed $1.8 million in taxes. So, what happened to all that Elvis money? Lisa Marie inherited the Elvis estate in 1993 when she turned 25. It was worth an estimated $100 million. But 2 decades later, it was mostly gone after a series of terrible investments and real estate deals.
Ultimately, Lisa Marie is survived by her mother, Priscilla, and her 3 daughters, Riley, Finley, and Harper. And now that she has passed away, a lot of people are looking back at Elvis's death because he also had heart issues. So is there some type of genetic in, their DNA that's leading them to die so early on? But one of the reasons why I even mentioned Lisa Marie's weight earlier was because her father, Elvis, was severely overweight and constipated. He was constipated for about 4 months. I mean, maybe Lisa was too, but I think we would have heard about her diet because he had a horrendous diet. I remember I've made videos about this. He would get cheeseburger platters handed to him in his bedroom. And because he had a lack of bowel movements, the nurses would complain about the smell. He wasn't really showering. So Elvis did not take care of himself. And that's, heartbreaking. I don't think that Lisa, was as bad as this, but they both ended up having issues with their heart. But I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below. This is all we know as of the time that I'm filming this. Maybe we'll have a report coming out soon that gives us some toxicology information. But for now, this is all we've got. And I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think there's something sketchy or mysterious about this? Or do you think there's some type of curse with the Presley family? I'm honestly worried for Priscilla because I feel like she's lost so much that I've seen friends of mine where one of their parents dies and then the other one dies 4 months later because of heartbreak. I just wouldn't want that to happen to Priscilla. So send some good vibes that way, and I'll see you guys in a new one soon. Bye guys.